Hey, honey badgers, little late night, what you working on? Um, I thought I would do just a little talk about this one. I saw this one come up on Temu recently, and I haven't actually seen this one offered anywhere in literal years. I bought mine. I want to say I got mine on Amazon, but I can't remember for sure. Um, it was a while back. I probably got this one close to like 3 years ago. And I'll flash a image up on the screen of what the artwork looks like because it's hard to tell with this. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it, is that the printing on this is a little bit grainy, but I think now that I've started working on it, I think it might be all right. I think it might be one of those ones that just kind of looks a little bit rough when you're first looking at it undrilled. So yeah, like I said, I'll throw up a picture of what the actual artwork looks like, because they these canvases, they put like 3 different example images on here for a 30 by 40, but none of them are really going to give you the scope of the detail that was originally in this art. So this is what the artwork originally looked like, what the inspiration art uh, should be. So it's one of those kind of 1930s, 1940s style art pieces with like the guy in the trench coat standing at the train station. Don't know if he's getting the news or buying a ticket. He kind of looks like he's just reading a paper. I don't know. But I liked the whole like steamy mystique of it. It had very like Bogart vibes to it. And I'm a big classic movie fan, so I was kind of drawn into that when I saw it years ago. And then it was one of those canvases that like right after I bought it, I didn't see it again anywhere at all for years, until just like a day or two ago I saw this image pop up on Temu. So I figured what I would do is, it's only a 30 by 40, it's only 20 colors. I figured it would work up really quick. So I figured I would work it up and show you guys what the finished piece looks like, because this was actually in, I have a section to the side of my workspace where it's like my immediate canvases, but you guys probably understand how the immediate canvases pile tends to grow and grow depending on your aspirations and what life actually allows you to do. So it was in that pile from a while back of stuff I wanted to more immediately get to. And then this sort of just inspired me to pull it out even earlier. But yeah, there's the train back there. I don't feature a whole lot of train canvases. I don't think I've featured them on the channel just yet, but I have a number of train canvases because I do like trains. When I was a kid in high school, I think it was about like I don't know if I did it for 7th grade, but I remember from like 8th grade to 12th grade, we had this program during the holidays at my school where we had a train museum that was down the road from the high school, and you could sign up to be one of Santa's elves and work the train for the holiday season. So I did that every year. When I was a teenager, I worked as Santa's elves, and the train ran from San Diego down to a portion of Tijuana. I don't know if they still do that. I don't know, like with border regulations, how much of that is allowed. If I don't know, because you never required passports or anything when I used to do that as a kid, because the train didn't actually like stop in Tijuana. It just kind of paused and said, "That's Tijuana," and then it turned around and came back. But in the train, there was a bunch of activities for kids to come on and do, and there was like a fancy dinner service for the parents and all of that. And the train elves, which is what we did, we just ran the whole train and basically saw to all the guests. And then once it was time to see Santa, then we all piled into the back of the car and did the whole elf thing. So I have an affinity for trains. I just, for some reason, haven't featured them that much on the channel, but I do have one that's, as far as like a haul video, I do have one that I'm sort of brewing together at the moment. I have a few canvases that are sort of compiling enough to become a train canvas haul, I guess, pretty soon. But yeah, working on this one. There's a little bit of a train in the background. There's no ABs that come with this one, at least not the kit I bought, but I've been trying to work and see what I could do to bring out a few more of the features since the printing itself is a little bit grainy. I was trying to figure out how I could get some of the details to pop out a little bit better. So I did the straight 310 on the grill. I don't know the technical term for that, but I always think of it as like the grill. But I did some of the accents in some gunmetal metallics, and then did just a little bit of purple AB over that, right under like the light and stuff. And then over here, I popped a few of the purple ABs onto the hat brim, and then did a few just to outline where his body shape was to kind of break that up a little bit, because all these ones, that's all 310. And so I was trying to figure out how to, block him out from all of just the shadow that's going to be there. And then I was looking at this and I'm thinking what I could maybe do is, because right now it's just graphed as all 310 to just make him look like one dark shadow. But I thought maybe what I could do to make it look just a little bit closer maybe to the original art style is maybe block off some of what was going to be 310 and make it like 939. So it's not, jarring to the eye. It's still pretty close because 939 and 310, even though 939 is technically a very dark blue, it's close enough that it's hard to tell a lot of times when you're looking at them right next to each other. That's why they use them in backgrounds kind of interchangeably a lot. But what I thought it might do is it might be enough of a difference just to make a little bit of a shadow line so that this looks more like a traditional trench and not just a blocky shadow guy. Because I'm a little bit worried that if I just do straight 310 here, he's going to look like Slender Man hanging out at the train station. And I don't know, it's not supposed to be creepy. It's supposed to be mysterious, but not creepy. So I thought I would maybe try that, maybe do a little bit of 939 and then do the 310 and see how that goes. So I might do that and then bring you guys back and see what you think. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the station lights over here. There's supposed to be a lot of interior lights. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with that just yet. Probably not going to do anything too much with the middle because that's just skyline. Not going to mess with that too much. But yeah, we'll see. So let me finish working out his frame and see how it looks, and we'll be back in just a second. Oh, looky there. He's starting to resemble a guy. It's starting to take on a guy shape. I don't know how I feel about this. I put the blue in on the pants, like I said, and did black everywhere else, filled in the rest of the 310. I don't know. I think it might be because the guy might be just weirdly graphed. This is all the black that's put in. The next layer of like a bunch of color is going to be the layering of all the brown, which I think is going to be 938 and 3371 browns, if I remember right. That's going to be the bulk of this, if I remember the amounts right. So that might fill in the shape a little bit better, because right now he looks a little bit odd, but grab like a little pointer here. You can kind of see there's still like an outline over, because obviously that's, that would be a little bit of an alien head to just have that. So, yeah, I'm thinking the brown will probably fill in the rest of this, and then like the shoulder line here. I don't know what's going on with like the waist. This is a very cinched in waist for a typical man of like, we'll say the 30s or 40s. I mean, I know they used to tie him kind of tight, but like this is almost corseted. Looking at this, the way the shape is taking so far. The coloring on the blue and the black, like I don't hate it. I don't know if it made that big a difference, but I mean, this is a budget canvas, so we're experimenting here. I'm not mad at it. we'll see how it blends in with the other colors. So yeah, I'll come back once I get all the browns layered in, and then I can figure out, it'll give me maybe a better idea what to do with like the lights in here, because I think once I put the browns down, that should fill out the basic outline of the building here, and then the train and some of the ground. I'm thinking. So yeah, that'll be the next step, is filling in all the brown and seeing what that gives us to work with. Okay, update on the dark brown layering of this project. I got all the dark brown put into the train. That was the 938 and the 3371 dark brown. According to the plotting, the key, that 3371 was supposed to go over here too, where the station building is. But I'm looking at this and I'm just worried it's going to be too much of a blob if we're taking all of the dark brown from the train. Oh, it was also plotted, not quite in frame to see that part. Hold on just a second. It was also plotted, the dark brown, the 3371 was also plotted in this middle area where there's a lighter brown. It was actually plotted right there, but I was looking at it and I was just a little bit worried that it was going to blur together and it was just going to look like one big misformed, train stack, the chimney piece, exhaust piece, whatever it's called. But this is actually supposed to be the exhaust cloud coming from the train. And this dark brown on the edge, I think that's the 938, that was plotted in. So I put that in there. But looking at the dark brown, the 3371, I was worried that was going to be too much and it wasn't going to stick out enough so that you could see individual pieces. So I decided to go into my spares and do a slightly lighter color in that. I was almost going to use... what was it? I found a bag of spares of the 3790, and I was almost going to use that, but then I realized that's already in this kit for all the R's, so didn't use that one. But I put it in for the rest of the train, and then I stopped when I got down here because I'm still figuring out this part. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about using the blue on the pants. I kind of like it. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I think because when I'm looking at it, the way the shadows are and everything, because this right here, this was another part that was supposed to be black, I think. And I decided to do that in a dark gray from my spares instead, so that stood out a little bit better. Because I'm trying to break up some of these colors, because there was only 20 colors plotted for this thing originally, and I'm just, sometimes when I do kits like this, I just worry that it's all going to be a blur, and that there's opportunity to make it look a little bit better. So I did the 3371 to about here. Well, it stopped on the train here, and then all this in, that's where the 3371 is supposed to go. So I was filling in a little bit around his body, and I think the reason it looks a little bit weird to me, the body shape, is because of how the legs were graphed in this. It just looks very zoot suit to me. And I just it's not scene appropriate. I don't think they'd be wearing a lot of zoot suits in the middle of a dark, misty train. Maybe some guy was really bringing out all his best, but typically that wasn't where they wore these. And now every time I think of that, I got what was that band? Was it Cherry Poppin' Daddies? They did the remake of Zoot Suit Riot. That gets stuck in my head when I think of that now. Remember that part back in the 90s where we all thought we were into big band for like 10 minutes? Nothing against big band. I don't have issues with big band. But I think of that when I think of like Cherry Poppin' Daddies and like Brian Setzer and stuff. I think of that era in the 90s where everybody was like, oh my god, I love big band. And then it just went away just almost overnight. It was very strange. probably in the same file with like when everybody was into Gregorian chant for a minute. It was a weird time. Not as weird as now times, but weird in like an innocent time that you'd kind of like to go back to. Anyway, I'm sidetracking. So what I thought I would do for this is I'm still filling in. I thought I would use the 3371 around like his hat here and the shoulder area and fill in where his body area is. I would do that in the 3371, but I was thinking for the building itself, just to break it up a little bit, I had this still dark brown, but slightly lighter dark brown from my spares. I don't have a DMC number for it. It's just a random spares bag I found in my stash from some other kit from long ago. I don't know. It's a little bit lighter, but still in that dark brown family. And I thought maybe I could mix this in at least around the bottom and the sides, maybe still do the 3371 up here, but just something to break it up so that because you know, if the 3371, the dark brown, this stuff is going to be around his body, I thought it might be nice to do a little bit lighter brown where like the ticket counter is going to be like maybe around here, and then to build out the window framing. And then because I don't know how far this is going to stretch, because this is all I have of this color, but if I still needed to do the 3371, I could at least take it up here into the roof line so that it's still shadowed and it'll still make sense and fit in with everything else. But that's the next stage I'm working on. And while I was doing this, it reminded me that the whole reason I decided to do a behind the scenes vlog on this particular canvas, because I don't do these for every canvas. I normally save them for ones that are very like project involved, where I do a lot of edits and things like that, and then I kind of talk through the process of how I figure out the edits. But I don't need to do that for every canvas. Sometimes canvases are very straightforward. But the reason I wanted to do it for this one is in case you get this one, because I think I mentioned earlier in the video, I did see this recently listed on Temu, which is the first place I've seen it listed anywhere in like a good 2 years at least. So if you decide you're into this image, and I'll try to remember to put a completion picture at the end of this video. If you decide you like this and you want to go for that canvas, I don't know that it'll come exactly from the same manufacturer I got mine, because I got mine, I think it was like Amazon or eBay or something like that, a good like probably 3 years ago. And there's no maker mark or anything on this particular canvas, so I can't tell you which company it was from. I don't remember. But if it looks anything like this, I thought I would point out that part of the reason I'm doing all of these edits and trying to block out where the buildings are and trying to make it look a little bit cleaner is that it is very faint. The way they graphed it for being a 30 by 40. It's not an overly complex image. I mean, it's basically the train, this guy standing at the counter reading a paper, and then the building. Overall, that's all that's in here. And then there's like a bunch of smoke and sky and stuff in the middle. But for some reason, it's one of those ones that I guess there's just enough minute detail that it probably would have looked a little bit better, at least as a 35 by 45 canvas size. Because this isn't a true 30 by 40 image. It's just the size of the canvas. So this is closer probably to like a 25 by 35 drill field. So if you were to get this in closer to like a 35 by 45 drill field area, which normally these days you have to get a 40 by 50 canvas to get that size drill field, because they, you know, tend to shave sides off to print the grid and account for all of that stuff. I feel like there's something about this, that there's just enough minute detail that it would probably look just a touch better with just the neck size up. But since this is the canvas I'm working with, I'm trying to figure out how to best build it up the way I can with the size it is. But one of the issues is that it doesn't look too bad on camera, but in person, Like you see, you can kind of tell right there with the 2s and the 3s. That section in there is very faint to the naked eye. So I thought I would do a vlog on this and talk through edits I'm making, so that if you do get this canvas and you decide you want to clean it up, I'm just talking through what I did to make mine look a little bit better. So I'm not saying you have to do exactly like mine. I'm just, might give you an idea of where edits could be made if you get this and you're not quite thrilled with how it's printed out, but you do like the image. These are where I made edits, and maybe that'll just give you an idea of something you can do with yours. Maybe you want to make your building a little bit lighter, or maybe you want to do the train in straight 310, or maybe you want to do it in a light gray even, or a blue gray or something. I don't know. You can do whatever you want with these images. But yeah, I'm just talking through the edits I made just to give you sort of like a guideline of where edits could easily be made. So that's the game plan right now. I'm gonna finish out building his body here with the 3371. I think I'm going to continue that at least around here, and then where the building starts. Actually, I might start the building about here, because his legs will be here, so this would I would imagine be like the edge of the building here. So I might start this brown over there and then continue the 3371 just a little bit in here to sort of fade it in, and then build out the rest of this building as far as I can go with the whatever shade this is. I'm not quite sure. And then see how far I can get, and then whatever's left I'll just fill back in with 3371 up top. So I'll come back when I got that figured out and show you how that turned out.